What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fan, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang podcast back in the building. We are here today to talk about the 49ers running backs. And to do that, man, I figured I'd bring along a special guest. This young man has been tearing up your YouTube airwaves, your Twitch airwaves, anywhere you get a podcast airwaves, Twitter, all of the things that you can think about, man. This is probably one of the most special guests that I've had in a long time. I do appreciate him for taking the time out of his day to come and hang with me. I watch his show, and when I put him in, you will know who he is. Please definitely like and subscribe to his channel. You've got way too much fantastic content. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Mr. Wayne Breezie in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Playboy, man? It's good to be here, man. Finally, we were able to get together. Yeah, we can talk 49ers, and we're going to talk running backs, which is funny because behind stage, I was just telling you that was my specialty is offense, and I'm a running back by nature. So I played running back / fullback, so I have an affinity for the running back situation, so I can't wait till we get into it, baby.
That is perfect, man. So y'all see him. Y'all know who he is. The man, the myth, the legend, Wayne Breezie in the building, man. Nitty gritty Niners all day. Shout out Fair, Peachy, and Moles. Breezie is on a new venture in life, and I want y'all to understand something. We got to continue to bless him and send positive energy his way.
That's all I need.
This is what Breezie is going to be doing. So we're going to support him 100%. No matter what he's doing, no matter how he's doing it, we're going to, make sure that we support him. I'll see Breezie a couple of times throughout the year with him and John Chapman on the 49ers Rush Go podcast. I will be in LA. And if y'all got something going on in Vegas, I'm gonna definitely come through because I'm a shooter.
Yeah, we'll be in Vegas, yo.
Yeah. I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna hang out with Taryn out there. Him and
Mariah,
yeah, for the Raider game because them Raider tickets is outrageous. I'm sorry, the Legion Stadium is a little too rich for my blood, as they say in gambling terms.
Nah, we going to that stadium, bro. We gonna get you in there. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I love y'all, man. John, Kev, what's good, everybody? 49ers channel, what's going on, 49ers man?
Chanel,
Throwback is in there. I love it, man. This is good on Saturday. Man. I usually don't do shows on Saturdays, but I have a break today because today I'm going out. I'm gonna cover a Mets game, so I'm gonna be going to New York to Queens. And I'm going to be at the Mets game, Keith Hernandez night, you know what I'm saying, to go out there and get a little Mets content from my Mets people out there, you know what I'm saying? So it's my off day. So I'm going to have a little fun today, you know what I'm saying?
That's awesome, man, because the Mets right now are leading in the division, My Braves are coming, though.
Oh, man, you guys are like this. I'm like, what are we doing? Like what is the Mets doing? Like, don't they know that the Braves are, like, right there? The funny thing is, bro, so after the All-Star break, guess who we play like 5 games in a row? The Braves. Yeah.
That's gonna be the greatest divisional battle.
That's it. Awesome. That's it. That's gonna determine who's gonna win the division. And whichever team wins that battle, that war right there, that's who's gonna win the division. And then the other team would be playing for the wild card. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, because there's nobody else, in the NL outside of, their division leaders that are really going to give us that hard of a push, you know what I'm saying? I do expect the Dodgers to get back in.
Absolutely.
Into the playoffs, guarantee. Sorry to all my guys out there that love the Padres and
Right. Right.
And they love their Giants.
Too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. I'm from LA. We ain't playing no games. I love my Dodgers. I love my Braves. These are 2 teams. If you want the smoke, they gonna bring it to you, baby.
Yeah. But the NL East is tough. And the AL East, man, because we got a lot of Yankee fans out there. So the New York teams are doing what they're supposed to do.
Look. Let me state this personally. Jason DePonte. I love you, guy. You're my bro.
Is he a Yankee fan?
Fantastic YouTuber, and he's a Yankee fan. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate your team. I've hated your team since I was a child. I don't like the Yankees. Never liked the pinstripes. Don't like this shaved face mentality. You don't need to be a blue collar guy when you're knocking the ball out the park. You should look as however you want. I don't like the Yankees. Never have.
You know what? I don't hate the Yankees, but they just walk with a difference. They just too damn cocky for me, bro. Like I just be humble.
Right. right?
Bring it down a couple of notches. You know what I'm saying?
But see, the Yankees honestly had and they still do, because I believe they had the most World Series championships.
I was about to ask you, are they the most winningest sports team in sports history? Is it the Yankees?
Or I think they got like 26 championships, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to do my research, but I'm telling you right now, the Yankees got rings.
The Celtics are up there, the Lakers are up there, the Yankees are up there. They got a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what I would say is they are the top of the league. They have the best record, congrats to them on that, but I hope you fall flat on your face.
Facts.
It's just me.
And the discussion. That's it.
And with Breezie being a Mets fan, he has to agree with that. Because there's no reason he should ever like the Yankees for anything. Period.
Yeah. Like never. Other than they in the Bronx, it's yeah. And the crazy thing is all my friends, and I mean great friends.
Yeah. And they all love them.
Like matter of fact, I call her my work wife. So Maggie, she came to my show last night. She was like, Breezie, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, you know what? I actually have off, for the first time ever. And she was like, you want to go to the Mets game? I'm like, let's go.
You said nothing but a word.
Yeah. And she's a Yankee fan, but she just supports the Mets.
She's one of those people who supports New York.
Yeah, but then she'll talk. As soon as we play, all the trash talk comes out. Like she throws the little digs at my Mets and shit be hurting my feelings, but it's cool because, I can't wait to play their ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Get right in them, man. That battle New York.
Right. They're in first place. There's nothing I can say. I mean, we're in first place, but they in the league first place. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing I can really say much until we whip that ass. But let's talk Niners, baby. We got people in here, man. And I'm excited because we have some running backs. And, when you talked about this and you said you wanted to talk running backs, I'm like, man, this is going to be tough. I never thought that the running back room would be tough to talk about, bro, because we're stacked at running backs, like literally. And so like even our weakest running back can have a spot on this team. Even an undrafted guy can earn a spot on this team. So let's go ahead and break this down, bro, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I have to address this real quick. Look, bro, okay? I don't know how many flies I've killed in my time. So I was on with Croc one time, man. And sometimes when I'm on with Croc, I'll be on my phone. And I was walking around, man. This fly was getting on my nerves, and I had to just smack him down, man. It's insane. It happens every now and then. I have to finish that idea. Good morning, No Border Sports. How you doing?
That's crazy.
Tanya Sayal. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, make sure you all have already liked this joint right now, right? Like this video right now. This might be the thing too, man, because Saturday mornings, this is when this could be your niche and you just kill all the. Yeah, we'll talk about that off the air. Now you just gave me an idea, but yeah.
Yeah, so the number one guy on the squad, man, and this is just my thoughts on him, Elijah Mitchell. Obviously, we all have hopes for Mitchell coming into this year. He had a great year last year, only 11 games, had 963 yards, averaging 4.7 yards per carry, which is fantastic in my eyes to go along with 5 TDs. We would like an uptick in the TDs, but a fully healthy year along with more opportunities, he should be able to turn in some more touchdowns. He also had 19 catches for 137 yards, averaging 7.2 yards per catch, along with 1 TD. They didn't use him as much in the pass game, even though all training camp last year, all year long, all we heard was that he was the best pass catching back we had. Hopefully this year, the offense expands with Lance at the helm, and we see a lot of Mitchell in the passing and rushing situation. He is penciled in as a starter for this running back group, and I don't see anyone currently unseating him anytime soon. What would be your feelings on Mr. Mitchell? Because he did say that he's learned how to take care of his body better, so he should be ready to go for a full healthy season.
Oh yeah, I mean, like after meeting him and talking to him and chopping it up with him, I mean, the biggest thing in the offseason was him putting on like some more weight, and so. I didn't see him before the offseason, but when I saw him, he does look, like, I don't want to say heftier, but he definitely looks like he put on some more weight. And as far as muscle, like he's definitely he's putting on more weight to withstand some of the NFL impact. Them guys in the NFL are just bigger, faster, stronger, right? So he's looking to put on more weight. And I mean, the main thing is he wants to be durable, like, you know what I'm saying? And so Elijah Mitchell is the sky's the limit for the kid. I mean, he is the running back one, right? He's the running back one for the San Francisco 49ers, and he earned it. I mean, look, this kid came out, what was he, a 6th-round draft pick, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep. Yes,
6th-round draft pick out of Louisiana, the Cajun, Raging whatever it is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, 6th-round draft pick, and then beat out an undrafted guy in Raheem Mostert. Didn't beat him. Well, he didn't necessarily beat him out. Mostert got injured. Let me clarify that before all the people come at me and be like, he didn't beat him out, but he was leading in all the running backs. He was having the best camp. I mean, they weren't seeing a lot of Mostert. And when Mostert went down, hey, when your number is called, you either put up or shut up. And Elijah Mitchell put up. And like you said, he was almost 1,000-yard rusher, and he only played in 11 games. So imagine if he played in 12 games. I'm just saying, he would have been 1,000-yard rusher, right? Imagine if he played in 13 games, he'd been over 1,000 yards, right? And so you're asking, like, you know, my devil advocacy types of questions be coming out because I'm like, man, I love Elijah Mitchell. Will he be 1,000-yard rusher? I wonder what they think out of there. Will he be 1,000-yard rusher in 2022? Think about it now, because we got a plethora of running backs that can do a lot of the same things. And if Kyle Shanahan is looking to keep his running backs durable throughout the season, he might be sprinkling in guys all over the place just to keep guys healthy. I say yes. I think it's gonna be 1,000-yard rusher, without a doubt. And I think he plays in the majority of the games, and I think it's because of the way that they're building the running backs room. So he will be able to last. But Elijah Mitchell, if I had to predict Elijah Mitchell's yards this year, I would say year 2, running back 1, I'm going 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns rushing.
Yep. I agree with you on that one. And I think, honestly, Elijah gets more involved in his passing game. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. What we've noticed from Kyle over the years is he loves to hit his running backs in the passing game. And you know where we noticed that? It was in Atlanta when he had Devontae Freeman and he had Tevin Coleman. He even did a little bit of that while he was here when we had that run in 2019. But more recently, we haven't seen a lot of usage of the running backs in the pass game. And maybe it's because he felt he didn't have enough confidence in the guys to be able to implement that. Or maybe there was a certain quarterback that, you know, could barely hit juice on a wheel route. And, you know, he wasn't sure if that guy was going to hit these people out the backfield. I'm just saying. But we won't even mention that that person again on this show. We're going to keep going. I agree with you that Elijah Mitchell will have a better season. I pegged him for at least about 12 to 1,300 yards with at least about 8 touchdowns due to the fact that the running back room has grown. Mm-hmm. So the next guy on the list, Tyrion Davis-Price, TDP as they call him, our draft pick out of LSU, only had 1,000-yard season in college, which was last year in 2021, and only 6 TDs rushing. Looking at the film, a bruising runner, not a ton of speed. He's no home run hitter, but he can get the job done in short spaces. Seems to fit the goal line type of back we want on the squad. Nice quick burst, but once again, not a home run hitter. May outrun someone in about a 20 to 40-yard distance, but not more than that. By the numbers, not a ton of receiving either in his college years. Not sure what his purpose is, but being drafted says they have plans for this kid at some point. And, you know, this could be a point where Sermon winds up on the outside looking in. And the reason I state that is because we drafted Trey Sermon to be one of the guys, but then this year we come in and draft TDP. So kind of makes you wonder, why would we draft another running back if we felt that Sermon was the guy? Now with TDP, you may have a little bit of competition there. So it's going to have to push you forward. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? What do you think about TDP?
Yeah, I mean, look, Kyle Shanahan, first of all, you know, you mentioned something about Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta. I'm going to go back further. But Kyle Shanahan loves running backs. It's just one of the things that he loves. And it's because of what he can do with specific types of running backs. Now, I don't know if you remember a guy like Mike Martz and what he had in The Greatest Show on Turf.
Oh, yeah.
Who was, like, believe it or not, like one of the greatest running backs of all time? People would say Marshall Faulk. I think he'd probably be in the top 10 of running backs of all time, right? And it wasn't just his ability to run between the tackles or outside the tackles or whatever. It was what he was able to do in the pass catching game, was what you mentioned. So I like to go back further. I will tell you this: when Kyle Shanahan was in Houston, he had two weapons. A lot of people keep thinking it was just Andre Johnson. No, that wasn't. It was Arian Foster. If Arian Foster could have stayed healthy, I guarantee you, if Arian Foster wasn't vegan, and this is no disrespect to all our vegans out there, if Arian Foster wasn't a vegan, because the way the NFL, the way they were eating, it was different. Like, he just kept getting injured. Like, but now the NFL is slim and trim and everybody vegan. Arian Foster probably would have 2,000-yard seasons easily in the NFL and in pass catching and running. Like, he would be that guy in today's NFL. But I think the way he was living his lifestyle and his diet, even though he was healthy, he just couldn't find ways to stay healthy. But Kyle, man, I tell you, when he was out on the field, man, that touchdown, that play, you know what I'm saying? Every time he scored all the time. Listen, Kyle Shanahan is looking to do some of that here. I think Elijah Mitchell was that piece. To get to TDP, though, see, TDP, in my opinion, was a sleeper. No one knew we were drafting. No one thought we would draft a running back so early. I think a lot of people had us penciled in at getting some of those speedy guys because we like the outside zone guys. We thought we were going to get some speedy guys. And Kyle Shanahan was like, nope, I'm going to get this bruiser. Now, you said he only had one 1,000-yard season, which was the last season. Look, I was sold on him on one game. It was LSU. I can't remember who they were playing, but he had like 4 or 5 touchdowns, over 200 yards, and he could not be stopped. And it wasn't a slouch team. It was like another SEC team. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could not be stopped. And he was a home run hitter in that game. So he has home run hitting ability. You said he didn't have the speed. He doesn't have that top speed, but I think he's still a 4-5 guy, 4-4 guy, 4-4-8, something like that type of a guy. So let me explain something to you. 220 plus pounds, getting accelerated might be slow, but going full speed, good luck catching it. Because once he gets going, it's going to be hard to stop him. So I don't think there'll be a safety alive to catch him once he gets going. And if they do catch him, they're going to be catching him from behind. So that arm tackle on the shoulder pad ain't going to work, too big. And so, like, good luck. I like TDP. I think TDP's purpose, though, hear me out, is a redshirt year. So that means that he will be a guy that's not going to get a lot of the touches, but he's going to get significant touches, not just goal line packages, but just significant touches to spell the running back. I think the spell running back, though, is going to be the guy that you just mentioned, which is Trey Sermon. I think Trey Sermon is having a great offseason, and I think he redshirted last year. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
He was the redshirt last year because Elijah Mitchell was the better pass protector. You know what I'm saying? He was better in the passing game. He was better at the run. He had more of the speed. Now, Trey Sermon's coming along. He's developed year 2. Don't sleep on Trey. Trey might be that number 2 guy, and everybody going to be like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? And so Kyle Shanahan got a room. He got a room, man. You didn't even get to the vets yet. Those are the 3 key cog pieces in the offensive run game. No, none of them are getting traded. You're not trading Mitchell. You're damn sure not trading Sermon. Those were draft picks. You would be stupid to trade them because they're cheap. And then you're definitely not trading TDP because he's a draft pick and he's a rookie. He'll be cheap. Now let's get to these other running backs because this is where it's going to get tricky.
Yeah. So 49ers Throwback says Price has good vision and watch a lot of tape on him. His coach said the same thing. He's good at finding holes and great vision. The other thing that I want to say about TDP is I liken him to a previous running back in the league, Ray Rice. Ray Rice was one of those people, he could outrun you for about 40 to maybe 60 yards. You're not going to get a home run hit from him at a 400. He's going to tell you straight up it's not going to happen. What's up, Eddie Glover in the building?
Hey, Chief. What's good, fam?
And the next guy on the list here, man, this dude, he's been around for a bit. Mr. Jeff Wilson Jr. He only played 9 games for us last year. Once again, slowed by injuries throughout the season. 79 carries, 294 yards, 3.7 yards per per carry, which is okay. No TDs, didn't have many catches. Wilson is back due to knowledge of the system, and Kyle knows him. He's here on a 1-year deal, so being cut due to depth is not outside the realm of possibility. I like him, but the question is, do the Niners like him for training camp? Not going to lie, putting Wilson Jr. on the bubble officially, and it's just due to TDP and Trey Sermon, because though he has that knowledge and that does give him a leg up, he's still just that health is always an issue for him, and we got to make sure he's ready. So, what do you think of Jeff Wilson Jr.?
So that's a good assessment, and this is why I wouldn't put him on the bubble. It's awkward, right? Because I think the 49ers keep 4 running backs. Somebody's going to the practice squad.
Yeah,
like somebody if they clear. I think the way Kyle Shanahan does this is almost genius, right? So you just read to me Jeff Wilson Jr.'s last season stats, but we know, you and I know, like that Jeff Wilson Jr. can explode at any given moment if he's given an opportunity, right?
Yes.
I'm hoping the rest of the league doesn't know that. Like, I'm hoping they're not doing their homework and finding that game against Arizona and finding those games where he just goes out there and just says, give me the goddamn ball. I'm going to go out there and be me. Because that is what's going to hurt if you don't pick him and put him on your roster. Let's say you say he doesn't make the 53. He goes to the practice. He goes to clear waivers, and he doesn't clear the waivers because people going to find those significant games. And Jeff Wilson Jr. just needs opportunities, man. I think these running backs, man, I think one of the reasons why they get injured a lot is because they're just not in the game. Like, they need consistency. They need to play. They need to get hit. They need to run. They need to do a lot of different things. His injury was before the season started, but then when he came back last season, he played, but then he was healthy scratches for like significant games, like the last game, like the playoff game, significant scratch, right? And I'm just like, huh? You could have used that mentality in the game. So I think Kyle Shanahan be like kind of trying to stash players and not trying to give so much. Jermichael Hasty might be the next guy you're going to mention, and I think that's another guy that people think he's going to be on the bubble. But I like how you said that. Jeff Wilson Jr. and Jermichael Hasty are on the bubble, and they're on the bubble because of one reason. There's this undrafted running back named Jordan Mason. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Jordan Mason's camp is ridiculous, I'm talking about the training camp that's about to start in the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. If he has a ridiculous training camp, he's going to be the 4th running back. Now, that's John Chapman's guy. John feels like he's going to be the 4th guy. I think the 4th guy is going to be Jeff Wilson Jr. Who do you think the 4th guy is going to be? They're keeping 4 running backs plus Juice. That's 5.
Yeah. So, oddly enough, you mentioned the next running back on my list here, Mr. Jordan Mason. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know a lot about him, but what I did was I went ahead and did a little film study. So looking at the highlight film from Georgia Tech, shout out Calvin Johnson. He went to Georgia Tech as well. One of the greatest receivers in such a short span of time of all time. He ran a lot of read option where most of his handoffs came from. So it is right to question if he could handle the ball on toss plays as well as receiving out of the backfield, because I didn't see a lot of that in those highlights. Hard-nosed runner with great speed, good in between the tackles as well, not afraid of contact. In his college career, never had a 1,000-yard season, not much work at receiver either. We all know how Kyle likes his dual threat running backs. 2021 season at Georgia Tech was a little lackluster. Played 12 games, 439 yards, 5 yards per carry, and 1 TD along with the receiving TD as well. From the writers, we have heard some good things about him through OTAs, and maybe we could see him turn it up and get going, possibly to secure a spot. But at a minimum, depending on his training camp and preseason, he should hit the practice squad. So that's at a minimum. But, from what I've read and what I've seen, from all the people that are writers about the Niners, they do like Jordan Mason, and he has shown them some flashes of greatness. What do you think about this kid?
You said it, man. He's showing some flashes. I'm trying to show the flash symbols of a hat. He's showing some flashes of greatness, man. And and this is an undrafted kid. I see my man NY to the Bay in here, so he's going to be a problem.
Yes, sir.
49ers throwback is like, don't count him out. Like I said, it depends on his camp. 49ers, when they get young players, and if they have like these crazy flashes and they put them on the practice squad, they typically don't make it to the squad. He might be a chess move where you put him on the squad, you stash one of the vets because of the new rules with the vets that you could put on the practice squad. So I could see, and it would suck if Jeff Wilson Jr. gets on there, but if Jeff understands what's going on as far as the politics as usual behind the thing, I think he would be okay with it. Jermichael Hasty might not be. Now, Jeff Wilson Jr., if there's a team that needs a running back, he might be a tradable asset for the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? We've seen the 49ers trade Matt Breida. So the 49ers are not afraid to trade guys that are under contract with like 1 year. His contract is easily it's really easy to trade. Like a lot of people would jump on it and a split hot second. And then the 49ers could recoup like a fifth, sixth, seventh round pick. You know what I'm saying? I would say one of those three. If they get a fifth for him, I would trade him in a heartbeat. No, unfortunately, no disrespect to him, but I mean that's just value. You had an undrafted guy and you flipped him for a fifth round pick. It's just simple flipping.
Plus, we already know exactly where John Lynch makes his money in the draft in the fifth round.
Bingo.
It's bingo. So
bingo.
One thing that I did want to touch on really quick was for the people out there, I have a hard sell because a lot of people will say that Kyle makes quarterbacks. Kyle makes running backs. If you look at his running backs, if you're a running back and you get into this system, as long as you follow the rules, you're going to eat. And you're going to eat ridiculously. Look at all the running backs. Kyle has churned out 1,000-yard runner almost every single year that he's been an offensive coordinator and or head coach. And, I mean, with Elijah Mitchell, 963, he wasn't that far away from 1K, and he only played 11 games. So you see the fruits of your labor there really quickly when it comes down to it. But the next guy on the list here is a guy we've been talking about, man, and his name is Trey Sermon. Here's the question mark of all question marks. Sermon was drafted in third last year and barely played, not even special teams, and usually was a healthy scratch for most of the season. I don't know if it was Kyle and he was in the doghouse along with maybe him not knowing the playbook. Sermon is a mystery along with drafting Davis Price out of LSU this year doesn't bode well for his future. He's looked good in workout videos, but he needs to have one hell of a training camp and preseason. Otherwise, he could be cut. Didn't hear his name at all during OTA, so hopefully we didn't waste a third-round pick on the guy who isn't going to pan out. We shall see. I don't want to cast any negative aspersions on Trey Sermon because we don't really know what he is because they haven't really allowed him to play. One of my guys, I can't remember who it is, but they've said that they feel like he's redshirting because they drafted Trey for Trey, if that makes sense. Like they wanted Sermon to come in and be Trey's guy rather than him being back there, playing right now with Jimmy, and the same thing with Aaron Banks. They feel like they drafted these guys to redshirt them, develop them, and then let them, go ahead and do things. But the issue is we had injuries at running back last year, but Trey Sermon just wasn't getting the call. It was always Jeff Wilson Jr. or Jermichael Hasty, you know what I mean? Or we were waiting until Elijah got back. We were calling up other running backs. I think we even had Trenton Cannon for a little bit. So it didn't make sense to me why they just weren't giving Trey Sermon the green light. So hopefully, Breezie, you can shine a light on that and help me understand what's going on with Mr. Sermon here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it came down to when they drafted Trey Sermon. If you look at the type of system that he came out of Ohio State, man, it was a specific type of system that he was in, right? And so when you get to this, this spread, outside zone type of system, that has to be learned, right? That has to be something that you have to get used to. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think Trey was that coming out of college. I think he needed time to develop, right? And I think, me personally, my theory is he was redshirted. I think all the freshmen were, except for Elijah Mitchell, because A, they needed him, and B, he was more comfortable and running outside zone, which is what we did. Tosses, pitches. I didn't even like all the time. I prefer stretches, but they wanted to toss the ball. They wanted to pitch the ball outside. I was like, give the
And
running back the ball
too.
from the
He was
jump.
not
Let
a
him
red
just
shirt.
get there, right? Nah, they wanted to give him a running thing. And so that was Elijah Mitchell's strength. Plus, Elijah Mitchell was better. He had a one-up on the pass protection. So he's a better pass blocker. So yeah, the 6th round pick outworked the 3rd round pick, right? And so that's kind of like how it went, which is good because now you can redshirt this guy. He can get acclimated to the system. He can get caught up in the game, terminology, the speed of the game, work on his conditioning, stay healthy. Now remember, let's keep it a buck. Trey Sermon was utilized. It did appear like he was going to be in the doghouse, like with Brandon Ayuk. Both of them did something at the very beginning of the season. Can't remember what it was. But when they needed him, he ended up getting that, like, didn't he get injured? Had like sort of like a concussion or something. I think it was in a Philly game. I can't remember. He
It
had
was
like
a concussion. Mm-hmm.
It was a dope run, but he fumbled the ball, but they called it back because it was a legal hit or some crazy job. Anyway, when they needed him in Seattle, I'm gonna say this one time: if Kyle Shanahan was smarter than normal, he would have kept giving Trey Sermon the ball because Seattle had 0 answers for Trey Sermon on the ground. He had 89 yards and a touchdown, and he probably could have kept going. He would have had his first 100-yard game. It was Trey Lance that came in to close out the game. Jimmy Garoppolo got injured in that game, and we could have won that game. I guarantee you, if we ran the ball 20 plus times. But that's not what we did. And then after that, so that game right there let me know Trey Sermon was ready for the NFL, right? And so now it comes down to, all right, Kyle. Kyle is going to be like, you know what? I like what we saw in Trey. Let's put him back in the jar. Let's put him back on the shelf. I don't want everybody to see it because he's going to explode next year. Boom. That's the Trey Sermon theory for me. That's the Aaron Banks theory for me. Because you heard Kyle said, yo, we was ready to use Aaron, but I didn't want to break up the continuity of the offensive line. Kyle, shut up. Like, whatever. Just say you wanted to continue to redshirt them because you don't want them to see what we really got.
I agree.
That's cool.
I like that because it's 100% true. New guy in the building. Haven't seen this guy before, but thank you for stopping through, Hurricane.
Oh, that's my little bro, man. Real good
man.
dude.
Definitely appreciate you coming through, hanging out with us. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I honestly think that Sermon is gonna surprise a lot of people.
Exactly.
I think he's that sleeper that everybody is not talking about, and then when training camp and preseason comes, everybody's gonna be like, "Where the heck did this come from?"
Yeah.
So I honestly feel like this would be a good situation for Trey Sermon, and it's just a good opportunity for him to snatch a spot on this roster. And I mean, to be honest with you, if my running backs, my 3 that are up every week are Sermon, TDP, and Elijah Mitchell, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm all right. I don't have an issue. But this guy, the next guy on the list, man, I'm not really going to say much because we already know who he is. It's Juice. We all know Juice is the best fullback in the game. Enough said, he'll be here and hopefully can run that wheel route so Lance can hit him properly and show 10 how it's done. Yes, that was a dig at 10 because I don't like 10. And that's what I call him. I don't even give him the respect to call him his name because as far as football goes, I'm sorry. I don't care for him and I want him gone. I would love that. But either way, it is what it is. How do you feel about Mr. Juice?
I mean, Juice, in my opinion, is an all-pro, even though he's not an all-pro. Right? I feel like fullbacks don't get the all-pro title, but he does all-pro things, man. Okay, I'm talking blocking, I'm talking pass catching, and if you let him run the ball, man, he's pretty effective back there. Now you got to be a little bit more creative when you're running the ball with Juice, but he can get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Juice is an intricate piece to this offense. And he can be utilized. He's like a Swiss Army knife, so he can be utilized in so many different ways. And I think with the enhancement of a Trey Lance, I think it makes Juice. I think it gives Juice a little bit more juice. I think I mean, how many times did we watch Juice miss a wide open pass that was overthrown that would have been a first down, possibly touchdowns, right? And so you're like, dang, like Juice could get open if they can hit him. Trey Lance just has to go out there and do his job. Juice is going to be fine. I think he'll be more dangerous. He's always more dangerous in the pass game, but he's definitely dangerous in the blocking game. And I feel like that's something that goes underrated when it comes to Juice. He's actually his leading blocks for these running backs and shielding out guys so that they can go around them and setting those walls without getting penalties, right? And that's another thing. He's a very penalized guy, right? And so you got to love Juice, and you got to love his veteranship, and you got to love his mental. You got to understand he's a student in the game. He's a scholar, athlete. He's smart. He's great for the 49ers, and that's why he's the highest paid fullback in the NFL.
That's 100% true. This next guy, Josh Hokett, most likely practice squad for him. I like him. I've watched his film. People, Josh Hokett is not to be slept on. If you've never watched his film from college, please do your research. Josh Hokett is basically Juice. He's a little Juice. I'm telling you right now, if Juice goes down and they call up Josh Hokett, we are not going to miss a beat because the kid can play. He just hasn't had the opportunity. What do you think of Mr. Hokett? I like him. I love what I saw from his college film. And I know another guy had him on the show. He seems to be a really quiet, well-reserved kid. But I don't want anything to happen to Juice. God forbid anything does. But if it does, I think Josh is going to be all right.
Yeah, man, Josh is a real cool dude, man. Had him on the show, chopped it up with him. Real cool dude. He's just waiting for his opportunity. But he's out there, man. He knows he has a role. He's out there killing it on special teams. A lot of people don't see him doing his thing, but he's out there. He's doing what he needs to do. And he's waiting for an opportunity. You said that he's like a mini, like a Juice 2.0 or something like that. He's a little different than Juice. I think Juice is better in the pass catching game, and I think Josh Hokett is better in the running game. It's so weird, right? Because fullbacks, give him the ball, but he's shifty. His pass protection is pretty damn spot up, and I like the fact that he's been sitting behind the greatest fullback, other than Tom Rathman for the 49ers, right? He's been sitting behind this guy for the last 2 years, and that's great. He works out with Fred Warner. They do MMA training. Real cool dude. He's in tip-top shape. And shout out to him, too, because he put me onto this restaurant out here in Connecticut that I had to go and check out. It was really good. Matter of fact, I got video footage I got to put up there, and I referenced him in there, and I gave him his little shout outs. But shout out to Josh, man. Real cool dude. And the sky's the limit for him, man. He just needs his opportunity. If he continues to go out there and train, be healthy, and do the things he's doing, he's always going to have a spot on his 49ers, and we just got to get him to the 53.
Yes, I agree. And yes, 49ers throwback, we all remember what Juice did to Minka Fitzpatrick. We just poor guy. He took his soul, snatched it right from under him. I ain't never seen somebody flip like that a day in my life. He just, oh, Lord. But last guy on the list, Jermichael Hasty. Hasty has been with us for a couple years now and hasn't broken out. Kyle trusts him over Sermon, I can tell you that much, but I've seen nothing from him to say he's solidified a spot on the team. He's shifty. When we first drafted him, I thought from the college tape, he was the prototypical Shanahan back, but sometimes college doesn't translate to the NFL. We'll see how training camp goes along with preseason, but he's another guy, in my opinion. I'm going to put him on the bubble, man. I'm not sure about Hasty right now. What do you think?
Yeah, man, this is a Kyle Shanahan guy, man. This is a guy he trusts. This is a guy he chose to keep over some like Alvin Samet. I forgot.
Salman Ahmed. There you go. He went to Miami.
He chose to keep Jermichael Hasty, right? And so we've watched Hasty, do some good things. I mean, the last time we saw Hasty, he was tipping up a pass in the air, and it was an interception to the Rams. But I tell you what, man, Kyle Shanahan likes this guy. Special teams. You got to remember his versatility. He could play special teams. He could return, and then he's a running back. He's a pretty good pass catcher out of the backfield. He's no slouch. He just doesn't get him. He doesn't get many touches. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, when he gets his opportunities, sometimes, I think He would be so much better with more opportunities. But when you're in this 49ers regime of running backs, and now Anthony Lynn is the new running backs coach, you better bring a different mentality to the game. And if he doesn't have that mentality, he can absolutely be on that bubble. I don't care if he is a Kyle Shanahan guy. Kyle ain't the running backs coach. You know what I'm saying? He might be the head coach, but he's not the running backs coach. Bobby Turner might let him get away with a couple of things, but Anthony Lynn is a different type of dog. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So he's got to get it together. But I do like some of the things that he brings to this team, man. Like, he's a great pass catcher. I don't want to say he's the best pass catcher for the 49ers out of the backfield, but I like his shiftiness. Like, his shiftiness gets him, those extra yards. He catches the ball, boom, 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 shift. He kind of gives you some of that shiftiness Devontae Freeman used to have in Atlanta, where he can kind of like bounce and dance around on the field. And it's just about him holding on to the ball and getting out there. But like you said, the running backs room is deep. And I'm going to say it again. If Jordan Mason has a better camp than Jermichael Hasty, and Jordan Mason can provide that same versatility on special teams, guess who's going to be on the outside looking in? Exactly. And I got to clarify something. First of all, William Floyd is my favorite fullback. I wore 40 because of William Floyd. All right. So I want people to know that he's my favorite. I was just talking about who probably are the top 49er fullbacks. You know what I'm saying? I think it would be Tom Rathman, and then a lot of people would say Juice is there, and then maybe William Floyd. Floyd was always my number one. Then you got to put my man Fred in there too. Fred, oh my gosh, what's his last name? He was a fullback too. I think he wore for Fred Beasley. He also wore 40. Yeah. So there's some 49er, fullbacks. Nobody talks about the fullbacks, and it's because a lot of people don't respect the fullback game. Well, the game has changed from fullbacks. That's why. That's why they don't get an all-pro spot.
Back in the day, they used to get.
I love Fred Beasley coming.
Man, Fred Beasley, O'Neal. We could go on and on about fullbacks, because back in the day, fullbacks.
Oh yes, O'Neal. That's right. Yeah, I forgot we ended up getting him.
Yeah. So some of the guys, man, like when you see fullbacks in general, they do the gritty work. Yeah, shout out to my man D Sizzle in the building. They do grit. They do exactly what the name of Breeze's show is. They're nitty and they're gritty.
It's funny because that's the position I used to play, right? And so, I was the fullback, and you do the gritty work. You're the one that puts your head down. You do the blocking. You do the main work. Blah 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 blah. Especially in a pro style offense. So a lot of people were like, a lot of games are spread, right? So they don't use a fullback, which is cool. They got more wide receivers. They're a little bit more dangerous on the outside. But when you have a specific type of fullback, this is why I love Juice. Because when you have a pro-style offense and you put Juice in the backfield, then he runs out in motion and he's lined up on a dinky middle, a linebacker. He's winning the matchup every time. Yo, Kyle Shanahan he's a genius. It's just that sometimes the plays don't pan out. They work in his head. They just don't pan out. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because players miscommunicate or something. Jimmy Garoppolo. Excuse me, number 10.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start saying number 10.
Oh, no, it's all good, bro. When other people say it, it's fine. For me, I try my best to refer to him as 10 because I just don't really care for him. So the real thing here is who makes the squad. So we all know that Mitchell is a lock, along with Juice. After that, the door is honestly open for anyone to claim a roster.
Nah, there's 3 that make the squad. And then because Mitchell, Sermon, TDP, they're on rookie contracts. The other guys got 1-year deals. And Jordan Mason has a shot. So you got 3 running backs on lock. Juice automatically makes it. That's your fullback. 49ers are going to keep 4 running backs. Other guys are going to go to the practice squad if they clear the waivers. I think the 3 are going to be TDP, Mitchell, and Sermon. Those are your 3 locks. Why? Rookie contracts. Like, you got to like, a lot of people don't factor in, like, the one thing I've learned in this offseason, I've been paying attention to that the rookie scale, top 51, like all that type of stuff. And just the language in the contract lets me know that they're going to be in the contract. Now, how are they going to be utilized on the team? That's different, but they will make the team just due to the contract situation. And if, and so a lot of people don't factor that in. Like, I'm telling you, like, typically these rookies, like these second year players, really usually don't hit it off to year 3 when it's almost that contract year. You know what I'm saying? On the rookies, right? Because the 4th year is contract year. And so after the 3rd year. And so that's why you see a lot of these guys have big year 3s. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle had a big year 3. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to these contract talks, you have to pay them because they're going out there putting up the numbers. And so I think, like you said, it's going to be those 3 guys. You're thinking it's going to be just 2 locks, which is cool, but it's got to be 3 just because of the way those rookie contracts work out. And now it gets down to the nitty gritty, because are you taking Jeff Wilson on the 1-year deal? Are you taking JaMychal Hasty on the 1-year deal? Or are you going to bring up the undrafted guy? That's where it's going to come down. It's going to be super interesting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you basically made a couple of other points that I pretty much had. And for me, I have to agree with you. I think that those are our 3 backs: TDP, Sermon, and Mitchell. And I do believe that we stashed at least 1 guy. And I honestly think it's probably going to be Jordan Mason. If he continues to show out and show those flashes of greatness and continue to improve, it's easy to walk away from a Jeff Wilson Jr. because he's on a 1-year deal. It's easy to walk away from JaMychal Hasty. He was a UDFA. He's not getting paid a ton of money, so it's not really going to hurt as much. But I think, wow, Tommy, you really in here hella disrespectful this morning. He on some shit.
He was ass in them finals, man.
Hey, the fourth quarter was bad. I'm sorry, Breezie. That was just.
They had him on lock.
He didn't show up. They had him on lock.
They had him on lock.
We're not going to bring up no negative,
yeah, they just had him
energy
on lock,
on this
man.
show. No negative energy when it comes to Breezie. His Celtics at least got to the finals. That's a lot less than we can say for most of our damn teams. Because I know I'm a Bulls fan, and we got our ass handed to us in the first round.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm definitely bringing a basketball show because, like, so many of us love basketball. Right. So I'm definitely going to be putting together like a nitty gritty basketball show. So get ready. It's going to be dope. Because I'm going to have like just people from different teams on there. And we just going to be chopping it up because basketball season, this probably was the best off season for basketball I've ever seen in my entire life. It was ridiculously crazy. I watched Rudy Gobert get traded for like 55 first round picks and players. I'm like, how? That he not even that dope.
He ain't that good.
It is what it is.
Somebody was trying to tell me that we should bring him to the Bulls, and I laughed in their face. I was like, no.
Not for that. I would look. He could have been a Celtic, but not for 5 first-round draft picks. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're doing too much. Yeah. So here's one thing that I did want to talk to you about real quick, Breezy, and this was just my experimentation. So I've been playing Madden. No, I ain't got to the PS5 game yet, people. I'll get there eventually. Just let your boy get some time to catch on up. But I've been running our offense with the offensive line the way I anticipated to be, i.e. Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Daniel Brunskill, and Mike McGlinchey. It's been working. It's been working well. And I'm just saying this because I know it's a video game, so it's different and things, work a different way. But those starting 5 with Lance at quarterback. Oh, because I went ahead and traded 10. I traded him immediately. I just automatically moved him. It's been working. And I know you're the king of running those simulations there, Breezy.
Listen, man.
It's been working, man. It's been working. And I think that might be our starting O-line.
Yeah, and that's my theory for the O-line. I got to get Brad's opinion on it because I'm gonna have him on the show to talk about the offensive line and stuff like that. He's
great
really good
with that O-line talk.
The trenches is his thing. But I'm gonna see if I can get him and Tony on at the same time because they are the trench kings, right?
That'd be awesome, man.
Here's the thing, right? I think that's the starting offensive line. I think that's it. I think they made it clear that Jake Brendel is Trey Lance guy. I was trying to point that out, that they have that kind of like that synergy. They've been together for a whole year, working the second units, blah 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 blah. That's Jake. It's been Jake and Trey. Like a lot of people don't know it, but it's been Jake and Trey. They already have chemistry. So here's another reason why it makes me feel a little bit better. Well, Kyle and John chose not to address the center position. Matter of fact, they addressed it in the undrafted free agent pool, right? They went and got a guy that didn't get drafted, and Donovan West, who will develop, right? So now they feel like they got a first, second round pick for nothing, no picks. They didn't spend any picks, and he's going to be on this squad, and he's going to be able to develop into the center that they need to be for the future. So they're set in the future. And for right now, Jake Brendo is going to be the guy that's going to pass the time. And if they need a reserve center, well, they got Daniel Brunskill that can slide over, and they got plenty of combo guards and tackles that they can use, right? Now, the question is, who are going to be those 8 offensive linemen? John and I did the show about that last Tuesday. That's a harder question. Who's going to be the 8? You already know the 5. 49ers are only going to have 1 swing tackle. I have to keep 2 combo guys that can play guards and tackles. It's going to be Jalen Moore. It's going to be Colton McKivitz. Yep. What about the draft picks? What about Spencer Burford? What about Nate Zakil? What about those guys? They were drafted. Right. Well, Poe was undrafted. So usually you keep the drafted picks. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. We just talked about that. So it's going to be cool. Andy, I wish you lived here, bro. Andy, where you live at, man? Because I wish you was on my side of the country, man. I needed a plumber, man. And no disrespect, yo. I'm gonna go back to trade school and become a plumber. Because my plumber that just came to my crib charged me $1,000. I don't even know what he did. It's just like, damn.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, the funny thing is, I'm always letting people know, like, hey, I used to be a mechanic, so something goes wrong with the whip. I'll let you.
He's in New York. Shit, Andy, you should have drove down. Sorry to cut you off. I would have paid you to drive down here. I would have took you out to eat. You know what I'm saying? And I could have had you fix my problem. From now on, Andy, make sure I get your. Oh no, you far in New York. You on Long Island. I'll be in Long Island, Andy, in October. I got to do some type of birthday party out there. Maybe we can link up. Long Island, you got to take the ferry. I take the ferry, or you could just drive. I'll just take.
Hey, look, that's the one thing about us Niner people, man. If we around each other and we got skills and things that we can do, believe me, we'll help each other out. You know what 100%. I'm saying? I've always been that way. I kid you not. I had a dude in a parking lot that was a Niner fan, man. He was wearing a Montana jersey, and I just yelled, "Go Niners!" And he said, "Go Niners!" And he said it really soft, and I'm like, something must be wrong with his car. His hood's up. So I walked over and said, "Hey, man, what's going on?" He said, "This damn thing won't start. I don't know what's going on." I said, "All right, man, get in the car, hit the button, let's see what we got." So tried to turn it over, just helped him fix his car real quick in the parking lot. He looked at me and he was like, "Damn, bro, I appreciate that." And he started digging in his pocket. I was like, don't do that. Don't worry about it.
The cool thing is there are Niner fans everywhere. I went to go buy me a salad last night, and all I did was pull out my wallet. She was like, "Go Niners!" I was like, "Is this free?"
Right? We talking discounts here? Because if we are, thank you. Hey, man,
I'm definitely trying to get out there week 8, Collie, for the Rams game. Trying to get out there.
I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Breezy, I wish you and Tommy were in the same area. That man shreds a guitar.
Oh my gosh, he's amazing, right? Amazing musician. Yeah, amazing entertainer too.
Tommy and Breezy connection would just be crazy synergy.
We could figure it out. We definitely could figure it out.
That's an awesome thing, man. That's an awesome thing. And
as long as it's not during basketball season, I'm with it because he talked way too much shit, and he can because his team won. I can't even knock him. His team won. It just had to be against my team. I couldn't, right? But it is what it is. I love everybody.
Hey, man. Look, shout out to the Celtics for getting to the finals. That's a hard sell in itself. Just trying to make it through and beat the people in the East. Shout out to the Warriors for getting their win.
Yeah, congrats to the Warriors, man.
Congrats to them. Congrats to Drunk Clay. Because he was all over the place.
Yo, he be lit, bro. He be lit. I tell you what, though. Let me tell y'all Warrior fans this. Klay Thompson going to be scary AF next season. Now that he got that one season comeback off the injury under his brain, Jesus.
Nothing gonna stop them, and they plan to get really good. Before we get out of here, let's answer this question.
Okay.
Wanted to know how many TDs do we think that Trey will have? I'm gonna go. There was a couple of I've seen so many polls on this, on whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna say this. I think Trey will have probably I'm gonna balance it out. I'm gonna say he has about probably 26 TDs passing. And he's probably going to have anywhere from at least like maybe 7 to 10 rushing, because he has that ability. So he's going to account for a lot of touchdowns on this team. That's just me. So usually I'd say about 26 TDs passing, about 7 to 10 rushing.
Yeah, I think my number was 26, 27. I think that's my number. I think it's 27 TDs, 12 interceptions. And then as far as rushing, I had 8 TDs. I had 8 rushing TDs. Yeah. So we're pretty close.
We're pretty close. And I mean, I think that's the thing. He's gonna throw interceptions. Everybody knows that.
It's gonna be about 12.
He's gonna have his growing pains. So for all of you 10 lovers out there, don't you I better not find a mention in my name if he throws an interception, because we used to have to wait for him because we knew it was coming at some point.
You find me a quarterback that doesn't throw interceptions.
Yeah, I'll wait. Even Aaron Rodgers throws interceptions.
Just find me one. Because I'll wait. Tom Brady could throw 5 interceptions in a game and still win.
Yeah.
Just put that out there. Just putting it out there.
It happens. It happens. So
I still don't know how they lost to the Rams, too. I'm still mad that they lost to the Rams. But I realized it was because they only had Gronk. Freeman got hurt. Not Freeman. Mike, what's his name? Their wide receiver. He was hurt. Godwin was out.
Was Evans in there?
Mike Evans. He ended up getting injured. Godwin was out, and it was we just gonna throw the ball to Gronk and hopefully we win. Tower of Power is one of my favorite groups. Hey Tommy, I got one question for you, bro. What is hip? Bam!
It is, yes, sir. That was it. What do you say? Oakland has the funkiest musicians in the world. Asked Herbie Hancock where he found the headhunters.
Facts.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's the beauty of it, man. We can link up on so many different things, but I appreciate Breezie for stopping by. Thank you so much, brother. I put a couple of links in the comments. Tell everyone else where they can find you, and believe me, Breezie has a list. You can find him anywhere. All around the world. Keep it
simple, man. It's super short, right? It's just at Wayne Breezie. If you're on Instagram and you want to see what I'm posting on Instagram, I'm still trying to figure out like my niche on Instagram because I'm comical. I want to be funny with stuff. So like it's going to be 49ers, but I want to be funny with it. Like, so go to Wayne Breezie with the number 2 behind it. Other than that, you can find me on Wayne Breezie, man. And I appreciate that. Twitter, listen, I'm doing a giveaway. I don't know if it's okay if I do this here on your show.
Of course.
I'm giving away an Elijah Mitchell autographed jersey. All right. And now the only way you can get in the contest of getting this jersey, you have to become a super follower. Now, to become a super follower, it's only $5 a month, right? It's $4.99 a month. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to get that exclusive content and an exclusive link to, for these giveaways. I'll be giving away different things on my Twitter because I feel like that's where, that's where everybody is, where I get to talk with everybody. So we can still talk as regular, but if you want to be in the contest, just become a super follower. It's only going to cost you $4.99 for the month. Bam. And the first 25 that become super followers will be in the entering for this Elijah Mitchell jersey.
There it is. And see, that's a dope spin automatically. 25, that makes much sense. So definitely, man. You definitely got to. Oh, look at that, man! Look at your boy Callie. You see Callie over here?
Yeah, man. Listen, Monday night
withdrawal.
The crew will be in the building 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Wayne Breezie channel on YouTube. All right, Nitty Gritty will be back in full effect. Oh my gosh, I love John P. Yo, I can't take John, but I love him.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. I have a Patreon, and John P. has been. Probably I'm not gonna say probably. John V has been the most consistent dude.
Yes,
to support me every single month, and I'm telling you right now, I ever meet that dude, I'm gonna bear hug that guy.
I've never met him, but I feel like I've met him 15 times.
Yeah,
like John we hang out every other weekend.
Awesome guy.
Yeah,
he's
man.
such an awesome guy, man. He always supports. And I don't care what nobody says, man. You got anything to say about John V? You come holler at your boy.
Me too.
Don't
He's family.
Never say nothing bad about John, man. And but D Sizzle, let me tell you this, bro. Okay, don't you ever come in my comments with this blasphemy here. Okay, we don't talk about 10. We don't like 10. Don't you say this, because I don't need it coming to fruition. If he's here, I'm gonna have a conniption fit. I'm really gonna have like a full-on trigger where my eyes start twitching like that on screen, and it's gonna drive me insane. I don't want this.
He put the laughing emoji after the 100.
Yeah.
So I think Sizzle is joking. I think. But the fact that he's still on this roster, I'm not mad at his comment, because Jimmy G is still here. He's still the quarterback for the 49ers. He's not the starting quarterback. He's just a quarterback for the 49ers.
Well, yeah, because we don't know who the starting quarterback is.
No, we know who the starting quarterback is.
Seems to be very quiet about such.
Listen,
just want to give names.
We know who the starting quarterback is.
I know. I like to give Kyle shit when it comes to that, because he always does that. Nobody. The only thing I'll say is, beat writers, be harder on him about it.
Yeah.
Tell Kyle, like, hey, look, man, that's probably the number one reason, even though I don't care for what he did and the way that things were handled. It's the only reason I like Grant Cohn. He'll ask you a straight out question. And it's direct. There's no cutting around, there's no cookie cutter, there's no beating around the bush. He will ask you direct. Now, when you get a direct answer, that definitely ain't gonna happen, because Kyle and John they omit until they can't omit anymore. But I will say this, man. I believe that our season is in great hands with Trey Lance. We will be definitely at a bare minimum. We're making the playoffs. I will say this. Yeah, I'm sorry. I lost all respect when I saw that elite, and that no, you can't do that.
I'm not going to entertain this, because I got to go get my car emission.
Appreciate it, man. Breezie was on the show.
I'm not entertaining any of that.
Yeah, because we'll wind up here for
tomorrow. Me talking about Mike Silver, a guy who I thoroughly respected.
I did.
I'm all for people's opinions, but don't say dumb shit like that. Yes, Jimmy didn't have an elite arm. He was pretty accurate on throwing passes for 2 yards. 3 yards. That's what's accurate, right? And then even that got inaccurate at times, because the ball started to be high, they started to be behind, they started to be so I wouldn't say he has an elite arm. I will say this: Jimmy Garoppolo healthy and with the team healthy wins games. That's it. That's where I draw the motherfucking line. Jimmy Garoppolo healthy and then healthy team, they win games. Now, you can take that however you want. That's not me saying Jimmy wins games. I'm just saying when he's healthy and the team built around him is healthy, they typically win games. That's where I'm leaving it. D-Sizzle, I'm about to unfollow D-Sizzle, though.
He's doing the most right now. Hey, appreciate y'all for stopping by the show this morning. Thank you so much. Breezy's got things to do. I got things to do. Thank everybody. I will be going. Just send some healing energy. I got to go to LA on Tuesday. I got to bury my grandmother. So all the healing energy that you can send me,
yes,
greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. But it's been a fantastic show, man. Finally got my dog in the building, and
man,
we're gonna keep getting more. So this is just some of the nitty gritty Niners crew, because I've had Moles on here to talk about the D line. Now I'm gonna find a way to get Peachy on here. I'm gonna find a way.
Just bring Peachy to talk about the quarterbacks. She'll have a grand old time talking about 10.
That's it. The show quarterback. Breezy just made the show.
The reason why we called 45, Donald Trump 45, was the reason why we called him 45 is because we didn't respect his name, so we just called him 45.
This is the reason why I don't call
I'm asking it.
Yes, that makes sense.
I was just trying to figure out the correlation. All right, I got you.
That's the correlation. I call him 10 because I just don't respect him on the field.
Understood.
I'm not saying as a I don't know remember people when I say things. I don't know people as human beings, so I can't say anything about them. I don't judge people that I don't know. That's not my right. But if I'm gonna tell you that I don't like you because of what you do on the field, then yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with that. And if you see me in person and you don't like it, then we can talk about it and we can have a conversation like grown men, But I just don't care for what he does on the field, so I refer to him as 10, and that is who he will be. But Breezy's got to go. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank everybody for coming out and hanging with us.
Love y'all, man.
Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for Breezy on any and everything. Follow this man. He has great, fantastic things going on in his life. And we out this joint. Peace.